I was asked to come in to talk about, how do we think of skill instruction moving from both the in-school time and out-of-school time? And I'm going to use this term called after school. And after school for me and for our organization, when we talk to after school, we're talking a wide gamut of things. Our definition is it occurs in the out-of-school time hours. It's in a group setting. Youth are connecting with a positive adult mentor, and where it's building skills for life. So some examples of different after-school activities could be a Boys and Girls Club, it could be a culture camp, it could be a dance group, it could be a 4-H program, it could be a Boys and Girls Club, it could be a wide gamut of things that engage kids during out-of-school time hours. Students spend more than 80% of their waking hours in out-of-school time. When you add in winter break, spring break, summer, and especially now when we think of the pandemic and the amount of time students have now at home and in their own free time. So it's important for us to think about this kind of expanded learning environment and those opportunities to engage kids in skill direction. Next slide. So why bridge this idea of skill instruction into after school? And again, when we're using after school, we're using it as an all-encompassing term for really thinking about these other informal learning environments that young people find themselves interconnected to. Some of the reasons are it reinforces that in-school learning. So when we can give students that direct instruction during school, having them have an opportunity to have a safe place to practice that skill and really practice this with a variety of different types of students, besides just the ones that they typically come in contact during their school day. So this may be about, thinking of some of those values that sharing about this idea of respect and around cooperation, giving them an opportunity to talk about that, and then also have that opportunity during those out-of-school time practices of engaging in those subsistence activities or those cultural activities in their community, to give them an opportunity to really look at how does this flow both from out of school to in school, and how does it go from in school to out of school, to really, again, give that holistic approach for that child. Out of school time and after school also gives a young person an opportunity, as I mentioned, to really work with a variety of students and other peers, to get that opportunity for that peer learning, and also to really have that opportunity to be the leader themselves and mentoring and connecting with younger age students. Those out-of-school time spaces also provide oftentimes a smaller ratio for personalized learning. So I think of Alaska's favorite sports of basketball and wrestling and NYO, and thinking of a lot of these where it gives a young person an opportunity to connect in a smaller group that might not be that same group that's in their classroom, and have an opportunity to really practice those skills and bring those skills that we've been talking about in the school day to life during the out-of-school time, where it's really about how am I managing myself on that basketball team, or how am I pushing myself farther doing the ear pull or doing another one of the Native Olympics games. So there's a lot of opportunities for young people to practice that skill, not just engage in the skill, but really practice it on a personal level and commit to it. It provides that continuum for skill development, and it really helps, again, transition that idea of what's happening in school and the home environment and community environment, and gives that place for both to meet. Next slide. So how do we bridge into this out-of-school time or after-school space? Well, the first thing that I would encourage you all to do is really reach out to and connect with those that are involved in the out-of-school time space. Because frequently, some of those students who may be struggling in school may have someone in the out-of-school time environment that they're connecting with and really succeeding with. Or vice versa, we want to see this exchange going across. So one of the ways that we can do that is by including those out-of-school time staff or volunteers or community members into your professional development, whether those are sports coaches, after-school staff like at a Boys and Girls Club, culture camp leaders, or other kind of adult mentors. This could also include faith groups that are meeting. So a lot of communities and a lot of churches and other religious groups have some type of youth group that meets. Invite them and engage them into those training opportunities to be able to help, again, create that continuity of skill and language development across that young person's learning environments. So share your class or school plans with your out of school time folks. So again, thinking of like, I'd love the example Janet shared of like, here's our statement as a district about Cressel and about really how we're moving forward this work as a district, being able to share that with other entities and have other entities really take and embrace that. Whether again, that is a Boys and Girls Club or a culture camp program, seeing where they fit into echoing and mirroring and magnifying that work across your region. There's a lot of opportunities to engage out of school time staff or volunteers in your planning teams. So thinking of how do we bring them into the fold? So we're thinking more inclusively in their learning environment as well. How do we use that consistent language across? I love all the examples Janet was sharing of really specific examples of, you know, what did it look like inside of the school district, inside of the UPIC value around social awareness? How did it look inside of management? What does that look like? And how can we share that language across settings so young people, again, have this continual environment of learning on that? Sharing those resources. So it's thinking of, you know, if you've developed a, you know, poster, flyer in that, how can we get that again mirrored into community-based spaces? And how can we connect those? And learning how out of school time, you know, can also integrate those trauma and practices. So there are a lot of fantastic examples of different groups such as culture camps that are really working intentionally around building those traditional skills. How can we invite those same adults that the young person may be connecting with during the out of school time hours or during summer camp? How can we invite those same adults into our schools so that that young person sees this person who I connect with in the community is also someone who cares about how I do in the school day as well. And really having those type of bridges and connections bringing through. The last thing I would encourage as well with it is really thinking of where does that young person thrive? You know, thinking of how do we take that area of thriving and connectedness, whether that is at a Boys and Girls Club, whether it's on the wrestling mat, or whether it is out doing subsistence activities to support elders in their community. Thinking of that space as an opportunity and that thriving as an area that we can help build that young person's assets, and how can we help bridge that and connect that into their value and love for school. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to explore, and I'm always willing to help reach out and talk through this with others. And that's, I think, where I'll leave it, Heather.